President Salva Kiir marked the closing of the 5th Governors Forum, held under the theme The Role of the States and Administrative Areas in the Implementation of the Revitalized Peace Agreement for a peaceful, stable and prosperous South Sudan. The event brought together all South Sudanese leaders to develop mutual priorities for an interconnected and purposeful government, one that is equipped to advance the search for a lasting peace in South Sudan. In his closing remarks, President Salva Kiir urged the UN agencies, development partners to find ways of scaling back humanitarian programming and devote more energies to development projects to allow both the national and state governments to harmonize their priorities to observe regional balance in the service delivery.
We need to work with our partners to find ways of scaling back humanitarian programming and devote more energies to development support.
The President also highlighted on the challenges hindering faster implementation of security arrangements, with armed embargo being one of the challenges affecting the graduation of the trained unified force.
The first challenge is the arms embargo. That has limited our ability to procure arms for troops in the training camps. We have repeatedly informed the UN system about the negative impact this has on the implementation of Chapter 2 of the agreement, and all we have received in return are more conditions that do not recognize progress achieved so far. As things stand, we will have no option other than to graduate these forces with the sticks.
The President urged the parties to the agreement to address the issue of inflated ranks and unreasonable demands to pave way for the constituting the unified command structure.
We as parties to the agreement should get this thing right by addressing issues of inflated ranks and unreasonable demands when discussing ways of constituting the unified army command structure. Another our demands should not be the only leading things. لازم إنه نشوف القوة حجم بتاع القوة ونجيب الرتبة المناسب للقوة ده. We have talked about it in the presidential meetings, and at one time my brother Dr. Yek asked for 7 days because we told him the forces that are now under training, most of them are officers without soldiers, and nobody will have the reason to demote your officers. Comrade Yek told me that he needed 7 days, and within 7 days he would come back to me with everything perfectly done. I think Vice President Hussein also took that opportunity that they will do everything in his forces.
President Salva Kiir considered his position and asked the community of Santigidio to begin the preparation for the resumption of Rome peace talks with the whole-out groups without precondition, and hopes that Soma will adhere to cessation of hostilities agreement in order to give room to negotiations that will move the talks on without further interruption.
I'm concerned about the people. When I signed this peace agreement, which we are always talking about, I signed it in this hall for the sake of the people of South Sudan, not because I was defeated by anybody. And for this, since we took this decision, many voices have appealed to us to reconsider our position and give the inclusive peace a chance. Yes, because of this, the Holy Father, Pope Francis, has been continuously praying for South Sudan and has been appealing to me to let the peace talks resume. I will now call on Sant'Egidio to begin the preparations for the resumption of the Rome peace talks with the whole out groups. I must say it again. I am today asking the community of Sant'Egidio to begin the preparation for the resumption of Rome peace talks with the whole out groups without any preconditions. I hope Soma this time will adhere to cessation of hostilities agreement in order to give room to negotiations that will move the talks on without further interruption.
The forum aims to enhance strategic partnership between development partners, UN agencies, support developmental projects, empowerment and investment. The 5th Governors Forum, organized by the Office of the President in partnership with UNDP, that brought South Sudanese political leaders together to deliberate and develop mutual priorities that would advance the search for a peaceful, stable and prosperous South Sudan, has concluded today here in Freedom Hall with a number of actionable resolutions and recommendations, and a message from His Excellency President Salva Kiir to develop an interconnected and purposeful government that is equipped to move the country forward. After extensive deliberation on a range of issues, the forum concluded with recommendation on the areas of peace and security, governance, provision of basic services and economics. One of the recommendations is for the Governors Forum to be held twice a year, and the first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar proposed the month of May before the passing of the national budget in June. Jomare.